Right, so it's a very cold January morning, and I've decided today that I kind of want to have a look at what films are coming out this year so I can sort of plan my movie going experience, if you were, throughout the year. I'm going to try and get to cinema a lot more now. I've decided it's kind of something I really want to do, sort of just for my own private enjoyment, really, and also to make more videos for you guys if you want to watch them. So a few reviews should be coming out from there on in when I go to cinema to watch films. But I kind of want to pick and choose because obviously going to cinema is quite an expensive thing to do these days. It's not cheap, and it's sort of also it's time consuming. Like I've got a family, I need to sort of like be here for them, look after, and like my wife, she works long hours, sort of like shift work, so sort of it's hard to pick and choose when I can actually go to the cinema. So I kind of need to selectively look at the films I'm going to sort of watch throughout the year. So I went on the old internet and I found a list of them. The first list that come up had 2,506 movies in it. Bit too many to go through on the phone. I'll be here all day trying to just go through those. And then I found another list that had like 300 and something on it. So that's the list I'm going to go find out. It's like an IMDb list. So you know it's like officially what, like an official list, and it's not going to have like fake movies like someone's getting your Facebook when it all pops up this like fake movie that's not even real. So I'm going to go through the list with you guys now. I'm going to do it for using like my phone and like screen recording my phone, because I know a lot of the YouTubers, they have these tech savvy people and they've got like a little list that comes up at the side. They can talk about it. I can't do that. I'm nowhere near as tech savvy as that. I really wish I was. One day I'm actually going to sit down and get a laptop and get all the fancy stuff. I use my telephone. I use my telephone. Oh my gosh, how old I was then, didn't it? I use my mobile phone. So all of my videos is all done on my mobile phone. I'm not a tech savvy guy. I do not know how to do all the fancy stuff. So that's why my videos look like they do. I didn't want to say the words I could use, but they don't look great. But I know that it's just about me having fun anyway. So I'm going to start. We're going to go through the films now together, and obviously, as we go through the films, if you want to like leave a comment in the video, please do, and I'll reply. We can discuss things. If I get something wrong, please tell me, let me know. And if like if I say I'm not really interested in that film, and you have a reason, oh, actually you might be interested because, please leave comments in the comment section. I'd reply to pretty much 100% of the comments that I get. I do like to reply or leave little things on them. So I do appreciate it when you do guys do comment and have a little discussion. I do love a little discussion. But again, please be nice in the comments, because there's no need to get silly about it. We can just have a laugh. Anyway, cheers guys, and let's get to this list. On the website. If my sound's dodgy, I'm really sorry. It's just recording through the camera, so I'm not sure what it's going to sound like. I'm hoping it's okay. So yeah, as I said, there's 355 titles for us to go through today. And we start with 28 Years Later. Now, I have done a review on the trailer for this. I do like the 28 Days Later films. They tend to be films that stick with me. This one is obviously like it's 28 years after the events of the first movie. So it's going to be interesting. Danny Boyle is directing it as well. Aaron Taylor Johnson's in it. Ralph Fiennes. Jodie Comer. Don't know who that is. But yeah, it's a good actor. I mean, Ray Fiennes, we all know, is a brilliant actor anyway. Aaron Taylor Johnson's like this massive star now. He's sort of turned up in everything, really. So that one, there is a review on my film about the trailer. The trailer looked good. It looked very Walking Dead-y, though. A bit too Walking Dead for me. Almost like it was a Walking Dead movie, not the 28 Years Later, but time will tell. Mission Impossible. Now, I'm not the biggest Mission Impossible fan. I know everyone loves these movies. Everyone loves Tom Cruise running all over the place. I am not the biggest like Mission Impossible fan. I remember watching the second one. The others I've kind of only ever watched being on the telly, if you know what I mean. Sort of they're on the telly. I'm walking around doing other things, but still worth a go, I suppose. I know this is the sequel. Like they did a part one, and this is part two. Only they haven't called it part two, which is weird, but whatever they like. Avatar: Fire and Ice. Obviously, with the third installment of Avatar, we saw the original Avatar is to me the greatest film ever been shown in 3D. Maybe Jaws 3's content with that, but I like the first one. The second one, I found myself getting bored. It was good, visually stunning, all that, but I was kind of like, I wanted more to happen. This one, Fire and Ash. So the last one I went to water. This one is fire. I'm guessing we're going through all the elements, and the next two films are going to be like earth and air or something. Or maybe the first one's air, because they do a lot of flying on those things. I don't know. But yeah, so it's I'm guessing they're working through the elements with these films, but again, the Avatar films, it's going to make a load of money. I'm possibly going to watch that one at cinema. You never know. The Thunderbolts. Now, the Marvel films lately, I've kind of been like, this isn't very good. Let's be honest, the Marvel films have not been great as the last few years. But this one I'm kind of interested because it's kind of like the B team to me. This is like the B Marvel team. So it's all like the secondary characters from the other films that are going to come together and make their own movie. And we hear that Red Hulk's going to be in it. Harrison Ford's going to be playing Red Hulk. So it is a very interesting one. I like Florence Pugh. I think she's a great actress. I think there's a lot more to come from her. She's very versatile. She does a lot of weirdy different roles. Definitely worth watching. Jurassic Park Rebirth. Now, from what I've seen of this, and there's some really weird pictures going around, and I think they're going for the original idea of the sequel Jurassic Park, where they're going to try and splice human dinosaur DNA, if that's real. I do not know. Hang on, reading this now. An expedition brave isolated regions to extract DNA from 3 massive prehistoric creatures for groundbreaking medical breakthrough. I wonder if they are going to do that, you know. So the original plan was they were going to make super soldiers using dinosaur DNA, mixed it with human, so these like dinosaur-human hybrids. And in the last few films we saw of Jurassic World, it was like they were sort of doing about cloning and stuff. That girl was a clone. So maybe that's where we're going. It's going to be bonkers, like batshit bonkers if they do. Good old Scarlett Johansson, though. Obviously, everyone knows who she is, and all the rest of the actors there. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Fantastic Four. Oh my god. So I was a comic book fan when I was younger. I collected comic books when I was younger. I've still got boxes and boxes that kind of left in the boxes. I don't go anywhere near them. So I know the Fantastic Four story, and the first 2 Fantastic films were really cheesy, but when I say the first 2, the sort of, you know, the ones that we know, the ones that had like Captain America as Human Torch, they weren't too bad. They were very in the vein of Fantastic Four. Then they made that other one, which was nothing like Fantastic Four and made no sense whatsoever. And this one, again, it looks too Marvel-y, and I don't think I'm going to like it. I don't know. I think they had a better. I think the fan castings for Fantastic Four are better than what this film looks like. But again, we'll see with that one. Superman, I do want to see this because I think they're trying to make Superman, to me, just from looking at what I've seen so far of the trailer and the photos, Superman's going to go back to being a family film instead of being too dark. We definitely need that. I definitely want to see a more family-friendly Superman. Captain America Brave New World, obviously, that's the one with Red Hulk in it. But then, yeah, sorry, Red Hulk's going to be in Captain America Brave New World. Obviously, you can see him punching the shield there. I'm still not a fan of sort of the newer Marvel movies I said earlier. Liv Tyler's back in it. Okay, interesting. Harrison Ford, obviously, as I said there. But the Thunderbolts are a team that Thunderbolt Ross, who is Red Hulk, like, become like a gang, like a team. He's the one that sort of gets him. That's why it's called the Thunderbolts. So, then obviously these 2 films are going to be massively connected. How to Train Your Dragon, the live action, which to me looks exactly like How to Train Your Dragon, whatever you want to call it, like the original cartoon. I don't get why we're doing this. I don't get why they keep remaking animated movies live action. I don't see the point, because the movie's good as it is. Like, I always wanted to see Lion King with real lions, and when I got it, I was like, I don't need to see Lion King with real lions. But here we go. So this is going to be a How to Train Your Dragon one. Snow White. Do you know what? This is going to be a mad one, because there's been so much stuff about this movie on the internet, either loving it or hating it or wishing it would just go away, or hating the Rachel Ziegler because she keeps saying things. I'm sure the studio just like are trying to keep her gob shut a lot of the time because it's kind of alienating a lot of the fans and stuff. And it doesn't make sense either how Gal Gadot is jealous of her, because most of the world's opinions are that Gal Gadot is actually more attractive than Rachel Ziegler. I mean, she's an attractive girl anyway, but like a lot of people do see Gal Gadot as this like awesome, attractive woman. She was Wonder Woman, for God's sake. And now, obviously, Rachel Ziegler does keep coming out with random comments that are like, we don't need men, and the old one's not that good, and all this sort of stuff. And I know that's misquoting her, but it's along the lines of what she said, and it's caused a lot of like backlash, and also the dwarf backlash, where they weren't going to use dwarfs. They were going to use like a myriad of like different people in it instead of dwarfs. They won't be called dwarfs. In those stories called Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Obviously, this version is just Snow White. And there was a lot of backlash from dwarf actors saying, well, you're taking the role from us. Then now they've CGI'd them, so I'm guessing that's even worse. But here we go. Michael. So this is the story of musician Michael Jackson, the king of pop. Now, depending on how this is done, this could be very good because this man had an incredibly interesting life, not just on screen, but obviously off screen as well. I don't know where they're going to go because there's a lot of very controversial things with Michael Jackson that are still in debate today as to whether he did or he didn't do the things he was accused of. But his legend, I mean, he was the biggest performer. Him and Elvis are probably the two biggest performers. Obviously, Elvis was the biggest performer. Then you go a bit forward, you get the Beatles, and then you get Michael Jackson. And I think he actually got to more heights probably than those did. Kids today don't understand, like the Taylor Swift's height, Michael Jackson was bigger than that, let's be honest. But it will be interesting seeing how this story unfolds. Constantine 2, starring Keanu Reeves as well. Okay, that's good. The first Constantine, obviously based on the comic book about an exorcist, a demon dude, a demoniologist. Oh, look, I could just read it, it'll be easier. John Constantine, who's been shown in like the Legends of Tomorrow TV series, and I think he had his own Constantine TV series for a while as well. But he's basically like a comic book demon hunter, and he goes around and does his supernatural wizardy sort of stuff to sort of kill demons, and it's actually a very good concept. Keanu Reeves did the movie. It kind of sort of, it's okay, but it's kind of forgettable in a way. A lot of people forgot about it, but it kind of got a cult following. Not the worst movie ever. Not the best movie, but not the worst movie. And if they get a sequel, try and build on it, it'll be good. I just hope they don't try and like just do it for the payday. Zootopia 2, like the first two Zootopia. Zootopia for me kind of like showed prejudice. It was a very good film at showing prejudice. There was a prejudice towards the carnivores, a prejudice towards the what they call it, the herbivores. So it was very good at showing a prejudice there without it being like about race. It was about like how a different culture and a different culture, and they sort of. But it was a very clever film. I liked the animation was great quality on it. The story was good. It kind of had a darkness to it, but still fun. Still fun for the whole family to watch. But if you're an adult, you can sort of see an underlining story in it. It was a really good story. I like that one. I'm hoping they keep up. It's obviously just tells you that they're going to team up and crack a case again. But very good film. Very good film. Tron 3, I can't be bothered. I remember when the first Tron came out and everyone going mad about it because no one really seen anything like that before. I didn't watch the sequel they did. I didn't watch what would be Tron 2, it was Tron Legacy, I think it was called. I didn't watch that at all. I wasn't that interested. But Jeff Bridges is still in it. He's still trying. Gillian Anderson, Scully's in this. SpongeBob SquarePants, Mark Hamill's in it. Clancy Brown. So it could be alright. If you're a SpongeBob fan, there you go. I was a bit old for SpongeBob. I think my oldest daughter was a bit young for it, so I kind of missed the big SpongeBob thing. The Smurfs, they won't die, will they, the Smurfs? There's always someone trying to redo the Smurfs, and I don't know why, but let them go. Untitled, what? Untitled Veggie Tales Project. Larry Boy Begins, the picture says. No clue what that is. Pandora's Playground, a world where secrets are woven into DNA. Amelia Williams, codename Pandora, becomes a victim of a wrongful experiment that leaves her with extraordinary psychic abilities. That's something different. That looks along the horror veins. Not all of these tell me their rating. The Conjuring Last Rites. I've actually started watching the Conjuring films with my older kids because they especially my daughter Amia loves horror films. And she like finds things to laugh at them in. She's got a really weird sense of humour. We watched the first Conjuring, and then they wanted to watch the second one. But I said like we'll do it properly, and we went through the Conjuring years, watching Annabelle and that as well. And they love them. They think they're great. Ballerina, an assassin trained in the traditions of Roma organisation, set out to seek vengeance after her father's. Oh, this is the Keanu. Yeah, this is the John Wick one. It's like from the world of John Wick. Yeah, I heard about this. This could be quite interesting because I like the idea of that hotel and like different stories of different hitmen from that hotel. That's good. Predator Badlands. Now, I love a good Predator film. Even the crap ones I love. I remember growing up when I first saw the first Predator film. I think it was on telly when I was younger. I must have been 10 or 11 and thinking it was like one of the most badass, brilliant films I'd ever seen. Like fantastic. So yeah, I'm dead on for Badlands. I like the idea of them going, I think they're going to the past. The plot is under wraps. They're not really knowing the plot. But I know there was a story that came out about I think it was a World War II or World War One Predator story with them in the trenches. And I thought that would be amazing. The idea of the Predator coming into the trenches and they're band together. I'd like the idea. It's like a World War One story. If they band together, or World War Two story, with the opposing team to take the Predator out. Because we all know that famous story about the football match that happened on Christmas Day between the Germans and the English. They sort of stopped the war for a day and played a game of football together. And that idea, if you could drop that Predator into that situation there, oh my God. Monte Cristo, I guess it's the Count of Monte Cristo. Don't know much about that. Narnia, Legend of the Golden Dolphin. This is an action film for an adventure of Narnia, the Golden Dolphin Princess. I'm guessing it's an animated thing. Elliot Page is in it. Okay. Minecraft movie. I don't like Minecraft. My kids like Minecraft. They'll want to watch it. Jack Black's it. Jason Momoa. The usuals are all in it. I don't. I'm not interested in that. But it could be funny. You never know. Bad Guys 2. Bad Guys 1. The story of the bad guys. The villains of the animal world, sort of in like a gang, and that wasn't too bad. It's kind of forgettable, really, but sequels that could be good. This one I'm looking forward to. I'm a massive Karate Kid fan. Grew up with these movies when they came out. I said in my previous videos, I remember the day that they showed the Karate Kid for the first time on TV. Every kid the next day doing the crane kick around the school. And it's good to see Jackie Chan in the film anyway. Aladdin 2, sequel to the live. Is this going to be the Return of Jafar? Or are they doing a completely different film? Guy Ritchie's directing it. Jesus. Talking of Jesus. Oh my God. Going to get a better link than that. Talking of Jesus, we've got The Passion of the Christ Resurrection. This is actually a sequel to the original Passions of the Christ. And it's directed by Mel Gibson. I don't know how they're sequeling it, but I'll tell you now, right? I did not think I was going to not enjoy that film, but I was going to like and appreciate that film as much as I did. Passions of the Christ was a bloody good film. Like a really good film. And it was one of those films where I'm watching it and I wanted to save Jesus. There's part of that film, and if you've seen the film, you remember it, where he's getting like tortured and beaten. And the guy like in charge, the guards all look at him, and the people doing the torturing look at him. And he says, turn him over. So they're whipping his back with like a cat of nine tails. And it's horrific, bloody, gory, horrible scene. And you almost can feel his pain because it just looks horrible. It's really well done. Mel Gibson did the props for it. And then the guy in charge says to him, turn him over. And they start whipping him on the front side as well. And I literally wanted to jump into the screen and save Jesus. It was bizarre. How many? We've got 29 now, Jesus. Ghost of Tsunami? Samurai warrior, the last surviving member of his clan. This sounds like an old-fashioned samurai movie. Could be good. Dodgeball 2. Vince Vaughn. I love Dodgeball 1. It's one of my favourite comedies of all time. It's one of those films where if you're flicking through the channel, nothing's on. It's on. I tend to stay on that because I just think that film is so funny. Like everything from like the Pirate Pete, and obviously. Ben Stiller is the best Ben Stiller has ever been in that film. Like, just the little things he does in that film, like the handcuffs, like, I got him. I don't. No, seriously, I do. I love that. And like, nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Just brilliant stuff. I love that film. So I'm definitely watching the second one. That's a cinema for sure. Ben 10. Okay, so it's a Ben 10 film. We're a bit late for that. I thought Ben 10's kind of gone. Armor Wars. Again, this is another Marvel film. Tony Stark's tech falls into the wrong hands. I don't know how you can make these films about Iron Man now. Don Cheadle's, I know he's War Machine, but I don't know. Spaceless. There's nothing about it. No one seems to care enough to write anything about it. Roosevelt, again, I'm not really interested in that. I'm not American, so I'm not going to be. But Leonardo DiCaprio's in it. Martin Scorsese. Them two do a lot together now, don't they? Highlander. Don't tell me they're remaking this. They flipping up. That film is brilliant, right? The original Highlander movie, forget the sequels, ignore them, is a fantastic movie. Yes, it is dated in the 80s as hell, but phenomenal movie. Henry Cavill, that makes it a little bit better, but still, he's a good actor. But still, no. Conor McLeod of the Clan McLeod, and I'm immortal. That was a bad accent, I'm sorry. Sherlock Holmes 3. Oh, is it the... Oh, it is, yeah, Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr. Okay, they're doing another one. Been a while. Another Mad Max film starring Tom Hardy's back. Okay, so I like the original Mad Max films. I like the second one and third one better than the first one, which is a very unusual thing to say. They're very different films. The second one is probably my favourite. The Tom Hardy one weren't too bad. I've seen worse films. I remember watching... I had a nightmare watching the first one because I got an Amazon Prime, watched it one day, didn't realise I was taking it off the next day, got halfway through it, went to watch it again, it was gone. I had to go to CX and buy the DVD. Ren... I'm really bad at reading, I'm sorry, I have dyslexia, so forgive that. Ren Diaz with Rama, what the hell? A team of astronauts sent on a mission to explore a giant interstellar spaceship hurtling towards the sun. Oh, it's by Arthur C. Clarke. That could be good. I've never heard of it. It could be good. Stargate. You not going to recreate that as well? An archaeologist and a group of Marines. Yeah, so it's the original Stargate. It's being remade. Okay. They found us during a camping trip to Utah wilderness to heal their broken relationship. The father and daughter must fight against a hostile extraterrestrial life form to prevent their abduction to an unknown, terrifying alien world. Now that sounds interesting. Something original, people. Come on. Greenland migration. The survivor must leave the safety of Greenland bunker and a perilous journey across the decimated frozen wasteland of Europe to find a new home. Is this like a Gerard Butler? Okay. Is this like a apocalyptic thing, like a post-apocalyptic thing, like the world's... Maybe we've had like an ice age, and it's kind of what happens after the ice age. And it's across Europe. So Gerard Butler, so that means it starts in England and we move on? I don't know. Mickey 17. So okay, Mickey 17, also known as Expendable, goes on a dangerous journey across to colonise an ice planet. No bloody clue what that's about. Toni Collette's in it, and Robert Pattinson, he's obviously doing well now. Stephen Yeun, okay. Final Destination Bloodlines. Come on, Final Destination. I don't know why I went American then. Yeah, I like... Oh, Tony Todd, this must be his last film. Tony Todd was the Candyman, if you don't know, and he was in the original Final Destination films, and he died this year, so this must be his last film. But Final Destination films, fantastic. Again, I watched one of those with my kids the other day. I watched the first two, actually, with my kids the other day. Phenomenal movies. You cannot beat them for, like, the tenseness of them. Brilliant. Wizard Hunter, Hunt for Evangelion Crowley. A bounty hunter of a lost masterpiece at the end of his task, but one last assignment by a mysterious countess will force him to discover a dark legacy. This sounds original too. Christopher Lambert. See, there's Christopher Lambert. I think it's Lambert. I call him Lambert sometimes because I think of Lamb. Yeah, anyway. But he was, what's it? I didn't know he still acting. I haven't seen him in anything for a long time, but he was the Highlander. Going back to the Highlander, he was so interesting. Oh, you don't get much originality these days. It's always like a remake or talking of a remake. I'm doing well with this whole like linking things in. So always the right remakes now or sequels or requels or prequels or something. But originality is very hard to come by. Right, what's this? Wolfman. Now we all know the story of the Wolfman. This is another redoing of that. I have seen photos of the Wolfman and it looks a bit crap. Like the actual... I mean, hopefully the film's fantastic. I'm hoping the film's a good film because I do like a good werewolf film. I'm actually going to see American Wolf in London tomorrow at the cinema, so that's going to be interesting. There will be a review for that coming up soon. But, yeah, I'm like, Wolfman, I will watch I do like a Wolfman film. Obviously, the original Universal one's the standalone as the most, like, iconic, I suppose. But, yeah, I didn't like the creature design of this new wolf. Johnny English 4, my God, they're still trying. Johnny English 4, starring Rowan Atkinson. Obviously, being British, you've got to back Rowan Atkinson and that, but I don't know if we need a Johnny English 4, but we'll give it a go. Saw 11. Now, everyone went mad about Saw 10. I haven't watched it yet. Obviously, I like the original Saw film. I like the original few, but then it kind of went a bit mental. It was more about, let's see how gory we can get, instead of let's see where the story's going. But the last one was really good. from what I hear. I don't think I have watched it. I'm going to try and watch that. I know it's on. I can try and watch it at some point. And then Saw 11 obviously being the next one, so interesting. Mortal Kombat 2. Is this a sequel to that crap Mortal Kombat? And if it is, why would you do that? Why would you do that? But who knows. Happy Gilmore 2. Okay, I was never a fan of Happy Gilmore. I liked Adam Sandler's what's the one, Little Nicky and Waterboy. I like those, but I wasn't a big Happy Gilmore fan. Heat 2? How can you do Heat 2? It's like we've given up on ideas. We're just going to sequelize films that don't really need a sequel now. Adam Driver's in it though. Kylo Ren's going to do some stuff. Right, okay. I'm going to stop there for a second. The video might keep going on, but I'm going to stop recording for a second. Heat 2. Next we have Nobody 2. Suburban Dad. I've never heard of Nobody. Suburban Dad Hutch Mansell, the former lethal assassin, is pulled back into his violent past. After thwarting a home invasion, set off a chain of events that unravel secrets about his wife Becca's past and his own. Okay, never heard of that. Is this a sequel? Nobody 2. I'm guessing it was a Nobody 1. Sharon Stone and Christopher Lloyd. Okay. Companion is the next one. Okay. A billionaire's death sets off a chain of events for Iris and her friends during a weekend trip to his lakeside estate. A bit original, another original. Animal friends. 2 animals become unlikely friends. Well, obviously, that's a very interesting script. 2 animals become unlikely friends. I'm guessing we've got 2 random animals, like a lion and a sheep or something, or a cat. Oh, it's going to be a cat and a dog, isn't it? Oh, God. But like saying that traditionally hate each other or eat each other. Audrey Plaza. So it's Ryan Reynolds, Audrey Plaza, Jason Momoa. So there's a certain group of actors in America always sort of pop up in everything. Chrissy Martin biopic. Who is Chrissy Martin? Okay, tells the story of Chrissy Martin, the most successful female boxer of the 90s. Sydney Sweeney. I'll say, because this could be interesting. Sydney Sweeney's obviously suddenly become a real big up-and-coming actress who's kind of going to be everywhere. To me, she's like the next Jennifer Lawrence in a way, where suddenly everyone likes her. That could be interesting. I do like a good boxing film. Evergreen Pines and Fading Summer. A middle-aged man finds himself in a strange sleepaway camp, competing against eccentric campers in search for his missing friend. A mystical grey beast guarding a hidden treasure. This sounds mental. Jim Carrey. Oh my God. That sounds very different, and that could be. Every time, the more I read into that, it changed, because like strange sleepaway camp kind of felt horror-y. Competing against eccentric campers, you get horror again. Search for a missing friend, which came from nowhere. I don't know where there is. And then mystical grey beast. It kind of gets a bit Harry Potter-y. Guarding hidden treasure. Strange. The last draw of Jack of Hearts. Shot in the back and left for dead. Jack, a former top dog and mercenary unit, returns to his old base in Odessa to right past wrongs and reunite with the woman he loves. But the second coming spirals. So this sounds like an old-fashioned action movie where just like something bad's happened, so I'm going to come back and kick your ass and kill loads of people and shoot things. Sorry about the cough. Josh Hartnett, he's on a comeback, isn't he? Massive in sort of the late 90s, early 2000s with his lot of horror films he was in. And suddenly does a film by M. Night Shyamalan, and now he's like, boom, he's back. Like Brendan Fraser, they're all coming back. Second coming spot. So it does sound like an old-fashioned revenge movie, which I don't mind. The Sinners. Trying to leave their troubled past behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that there's greater evil waiting for them. This sounds paranormally, The Sinners, religiously paranormally. I could be wrong. Michael B. Jordan's in it. Okay. I know I'm only saying some of the names because I don't know who some of these actors are, but Amelia Holmes. That was that Millie Bobby Brown thing, wasn't it? Okay, so I didn't watch that. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't watch that. I didn't really fancy it. I'm not really a Sherlock Holmes fan. But look, Henry Cavill, and the next one has Henry Cavill in it as well. An unlucky in love university professor creates an elaborate questionnaire in an effort to find a wife and meets the conventional woman who doesn't match any of his requirements, but might be the perfect woman. This sounds like that. Was it Down with Love? There was a film I watched a little while ago about, it was Down with, no, maybe it wasn't. That's not Down with Love. Where someone has like an algorithm on a computer that will find the perfect love and the perfect match for you. And there was a reporter trying to say that was bullcrap and love comes from somewhere else. I can't remember what the film was called. I think no, it wasn't Down with Love. He was the guy that wrote the book. I can't remember. But it sounds a lot like it's going to be like that. In the Grey revolves around two extraction specialists who have a designate. I can't read. I mean, I've got dyslexia, but this is bad today. Revolves around two extraction specialists who have to designate a route to escape for a senior family negotiator. So it's an escape film. Okay. Jake Gyllenhaal. Henry Cavill. Is Henry Cavill in everything this year? Jesus. Now You See Me 3. So the first two Now You See Me films were quite good. I liked the Little Magic one, especially there's that one in number 2. There's that scene in number 2 with the cards where they're passing like a card between them all. It's like, I think it's like a computer thing, but the way they do that was a stunning scene. And they're not bad films, and Daniel Radcliffe's in the second one. He's back in for this one. See, Woody Harrelson was in that though, and he was like the main guy. I don't know. Billy Knight. What's Billy Knight? Following Alex and Emily as they go through their aspiring careers as filmmakers and an old-time memory of Alex's father. The box of unfinished scripts and handkerchiefs with the name Billy Knight. Oh, Al Pacino, Patrick Schwarzenegger. I'm guessing it's a relation because you don't get many Schwarzeneggers around here, do you? Okay, that sounds... Okay, following Alex, go through an aspiring careers as filmmakers. So they find an old box of unfinished scripts. Okay, that could be interesting. Frankenstein. Now, I love a good Frankenstein storytelling. This one, I think it's done... Yeah, it is. I can never say his first name. Del Toro, who does a lot of good horror films. He's very creepy sort of horror films. He did that Cabinet of Curiosities TV show. It was on Netflix. It was a great TV show. He's having a go at old Frankenstein. I'm sorry, I should speak and read at the same time. Who's believed to have died in a fire. Oh, so it's like a sequel almost. So someone else tries to continue it on and tries to find the monster. Oh, interesting. I wonder who's playing Frankenstein. Mia Goth's in it. The Janssen Directive. Former Navy SEAL and prisoner of war, Paul Johnson, works as a corporate security consultant, but with an assignment to rescue a VIP goes wrong, he's forced to go on the run. Stars John Cena. You can't see me. I love John Cena. I love wrestling. I'm a big wrestling fan. I've been since I was a child. I've never stopped liking it. Gotta love it. Gotta big up John Cena. He's just finishing his wrestling career as well. A star-studded charity event. Sacrifice. A star-studded charity event turns chaotic when a radical group crashes it, seeking a mythical art. Oh, that sounds a bit different. Chris Hemsworth, Selma Hayek, Anya Taylor-Joy. Interesting. The Gorge is the PG-13 apparently. Two highly trained operatives become close after being sent to protect opposite sides of a mysterious gorge. With an evil emerges, they must work together to survive what lies within. That sounds a bit different. So there's a big gorge, which is like a big hole in the world, I suppose. And there's two different, maybe warring factions on the other side of it. And someone's sent to go. Sigourney Weaver, Anya Taylor-Joy again. Could be interesting. I like this. Wake Up Dead. Plot unknown. Sequel to Glass Onion. I never saw Glass Onion. If it's any good, please let me know. Daniel Craig was in it, though, apparently. Glass Onion, Wake Up Dead. F1, following a Formula 1 driver who came out of retirement to mentor a team of younger drivers. That sounds a lot to me like Top Gun Maverick, but with cars. Brad Pitt's in it. I'm guessing he's the older driver now. Oh, I don't know if that's going to be. If you're a fan of Formula 1, you're going to love it. But that, to me, that plot was Top Gun. Last Breath. True story. It follows seasoned deep-sea divers as they battle the raging elements to rescue their crewmates trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean's surface. Woody Harrelson. Okay. I wonder if that was based on that submarine thing that went missing around Titanic. Planes, Trains. They're remaking that. You bastards, who's in it? Remake. I'm not going to look at who's in it yet. All right. Remake of the 1987 comedy Pair of Unlikely Companions. So that was. Oh, who was that? That was Steve Martin and John Candy, wasn't it? Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I'm probably wrong. But yeah. 1 second. So, long story short, I'd come off of here for a bit. I've come back into it. I recorded for about 10 minutes and suddenly realised that it wasn't recording audio. So I am back again. Some of these I would have already done, so I sound a bit like that's why. Yeah, so back to Trains, Planes and Automobiles. I'm not sure why the hell they have bothered to do this. It makes no sense at all. I'm not happy with it. It's just going to be awful. Kevin Hart and Kevin Smith. And you know there's going to be a hell of a lot of this whole replacing white actors with black actors and wokeness and all that is going to be because of this, and I'm not happy with it. I'm really not. Equality. Oh, it's going to cause people talking. Anyway, in Cold Light, Ava attempts to go straight after prison, but her twin is murdered, and being a witness to the shooting, she is forced to go on the run. So that's just an action movie right there. It could be an interesting one. They Follow. I have no idea what that's about. Don't really tell me anything. Right. Bugonia. 2 conspiracy-obsessed young men kidnap a high-powered CEO. A high-powered CEO of a major company convinced that she is an... Oh, start again. Right. 2 conspiracy-obsessed young men kidnap a high-powered CEO of a major company convinced she is an alien intent on destroying the planet Earth. That sounds quite funny. That has to be a comedy. Emma Stone, Jesse Perlman, I know who that is, and Alicia Silverstone, Batgirl, Clueless, is back. These 90 stars all keep reappearing. That to me sounds fun. That's going to be good. I think that's going to be entertaining. Eddington revolves around a couple stranded in a small Mexican town during a pandemic. Oh God, we haven't had enough pandemic lately. Initially welcomed to the town, takes a sinister turn by nightfall. It reunites director Alistair with actor Phoenix portraying the sheriff with big ambitions. That to me sounds like vampires, right? So they go to a town, there's a pandemic going on, they're in this little town, stuck there, and suddenly it turns sinister by nightfall. It sounds like vampires. But we shall see. Emma Stone's in that one as well. Misadventure doesn't tell us anything. You are cordially invited. Follows a young woman who is planning her sister's wedding and the father of another bride-to-be. Sister's wedding and the father of another bride-to-be. They discover they have double booked for their destination wedding. Oh, so both parties decide to share the venue, but chaos ensues. This sounds... Reese Witherspoon, Will Ferrell. This sounds... Looks like Crocodile Hunter. But to me, this sounds a lot like Bride Wars. The 2 weddings going on, probably fighting over what they've got in them. An untitled M. Night Shyamalan project, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, but we don't know what it is. Labour of Love. A widow embarks on a cross-country trip on foot to prove his love for his late wife. Oh, that sounds... M. Night Shyamalan. So, just then, that sounded to me like it was going to be quite a nice little story about a guy walking across a country on foot as like a tribute to his wife. Like a nice story. He probably meets people along the way. Like the end of Forrest Gump. However, then you get the director is M. Night Shyamalan, and that to me then says this has got a bit of a dark twist to it. But interesting. Vampires of the Velvet Lounge. As they are locked in battle with deadly foe in this twisted fairy tale, a coven of vampires struggle to come to terms with the modern world and their own mortality. Now that's got a bit of the Twilight. I don't know, it just sounds teenage, like a coven of vampires struggling. It sounds a bit like Friendly Vampires, I don't know. The Gentleman. Aging ex-soldier Theo meets weekly with prostitute, does he? Meets with prostitute Olga to reminisce. After Olga's murder, Theo seeks bloody revenge, attracting the attention of an alcoholic cop and hitman. So this sounds like it's basically an action movie. The Gentleman, that was another film. Sounds very like actiony movie. The Tower, mysterious mermaid trapped and forgotten for years in a water tower of a small southern town. As you do. That sounds bonkers, doesn't it? It's Pastel? Synesthetic? I don't know, woman who can hear colours, discovers a sinister secret in the colour design industry after being recruited by a cult-like company. That's a bit of a weird one. That sounds really weird. Someone who can hear colour. And I remember watching a programme on like Channel 4 years ago about people that could see sound. And it sounds similar to that. Now this guy, remember in the documentary, was saying that he can see sound. And when a dog barks, he can see coloured bubbles coming out of its mouth. This sounds like that. So maybe she can hear the noise of a colour, like a blue will sound like waves or something. I don't know, that sounds a bit weird and different. It's got my brain thinking anyway. Mother Mary. Foreign relationship between a fictional musician and a famous fashion designer. Anne Hathaway. That's like a lovey rom-commy, maybe. Once Upon a Zodiac, starring Jackie Chan. Bit of an action film, maybe. New Police Story 2, that's got to be Jackie. Yeah, there's Jackie Chan, okay. After his release from prison, Joe Kwan wants retribution and uses the media to degrade the police, which hurts the reputation of Inspector, Chinese name, and Superintendent, another Chinese name. Will the policeman uncover the crisis? Okay, so these are like sequels to Police Story, I'm guessing. Legend of Ochi. In a remote village, a young girl is raised to never go outside after dark and fear the reclusive forest. Creatures known as the reclusive forest. I've read that really wrong. Fear the reclusive forest creatures known as Ochi. When a baby Ochi is left behind by its pack, she embarks on an adventure to reunite their family. Oh, this is going to be... it's a PG. It's got to be... Oh, hello. So in other words, there's these big scary creatures living in the forest, but a young girl finds one and befriends it. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be like a lovely family film, that. It's kind of got like 80s family movie vibes going on with it. I do like the sound of that, though. Marty Supreme. Plot under wraps. I have no idea what this is about. That looks like a golf ball. Is it a golf ball? No, it's just a ball. Made in America. Is this like a political film? Possibly. Gwyneth Paltrow's in it. Jewel. Is that a remake of... No, hang on. From horror filmmaker Mark Schoonmaker comes a new horror thriller about fear, regret, guilt and consequence. Is this a No, it's not. It doesn't sound like a remake of Jewel. Now, Jewel, to me, was that film about the lorry that's trying to kill the guy in the car, where it sort of follows him across the American sort of like roadways and stuff, and like just hunting him down, trying to kill him. No idea. The Monkey, that is a Stephen King book adaptation from his Bachman books, where he sort of had a pseudonym to try and hide who he was and write novels to see if they'd do as well as with Stephen King's name on it. And one of the stories was The Monkey. Let's see what this is about. When twin brothers Bill and Hal find their father's old monkey toy in an attic, a series of gruesome deaths start. The siblings decide to throw the toy away and move on with their lives, growing apart over the years. I'm guessing they then reunite. It all goes crazy for them. The monkey comes back. Interesting. Megan 2.0. Now, my family loves the Megan film. I like the Megan film. And you could tell from the ending of the first film that there was a sequel coming and how they were going to do the sequel. I am quite pleased that this is happening. I ain't going to lie. The Bride. In 1930 Chicago, Frankenstein asks Dr. F. to help create a companion. They give life to a murdered woman as a bride, sparking romance, police interest, and radical social change. So this is a remake of Frankenstein's Bride in a way. Starring Maggie Gyllenhaal directs it. Jake Gyllenhaal is in it, and Christian Bale as well, and Jessie Buckley. So we've got a Frankenstein film coming out already by Del Toro. It's like the traditional Frankenstein. This is a remake of Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein. Okay, this is cool. So last year it was all about Dracula. They remade obviously Nosferatu. They also remade Dracula's Daughter, which was a fantastic movie called Abigail, which was both hilarious and horrific and gory and fun. Definitely one of my favourite films last year. And now they've done The Bride, which is obviously a remake of The Bride of Frankenstein. Okay, different. I like it. Stanley, no idea. Looks like a dude standing next to a tree. Is a dude standing next to a tree. Just says coming soon. No idea what that's about. Halloween Aftermath. That can't be real, right? Hang on. That can't... No. Are they... Let's have a look, right. October 2020. The Shape has vanished. Cole Dilton, the lucky survivor of Halloween Night 2018, tries his hardest to heal, move on, and forget the events of that fateful night, ever unaware that evil was always near. Is this a retcon? Because obviously we had the newer Halloween trilogy. It was Halloween 2018, which was the sequel to the original, forgetting everything else. Then we had Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, and they were like a little mini trilogy, starring Jamie Lee Curtis. And that kind of went a bit tits up in a way, because no one liked the last one, the Halloween Ends. It was awful, and they really made a really weird decision on that. People kind of unsure about Halloween Kills. Some loved it, some hated it. But Halloween 2018 was actually a really good sequel and a really good film. This looks to me like either it's a separate story from that trilogy, sort of like a side quest almost, like you're getting a computer game, or it's like retconning and forgetting that we had those two sequels. It doesn't mention Jamie Lee Curtis at all. So is that what they're trying to do? Like do a side story from like something else that happened that night? Ooh. I didn't even know that was happening. The Haunting of Helen Bridge. Mary is the heir apparent to a substantial estate. She's not only inherited this affliction, but also has a family curse that sparks the evil spirit haunting Helen's Bridge. Oh, so I'm guessing this is like a Conjuring style, sinister style jump scare horror movie by the sounds of it. With a really creepy looking tree. The Seductress from Hell. A Hollywood actress undergoes a horrific transformation after being pushed to the edge by her psychopathic husband. So what I'm getting from this is major thriller horror vibes. She gets somehow hurt, cut up, burnt maybe, and then goes after him for revenge after what this husband has done to her. I'm guessing it's a very abusive husband that ends up trying to kill her, makes her face messed up somehow maybe, and then she goes out for revenge, and that looks creepy as hell. Shall rip your heart out. Oh my god. That's just going to be a thriller horror. Dr. Plague. Detective John Verney is on the trail of a masked serial killer, cutting a swath through East London, echoing the Jack the Ripper murders of 1888. and the plague doctors of old. We're getting a slasher film set in England, because that just said Martin Kemp, who was the guitarist from Spandau Ballet, who did a lot of acting like EastEnders and stuff. That is Martin Kemp. This is a British movie about a slasher recreating the Jack the Ripper murders dressed as a plague doctor. Oh, that could be good. I hope it's really British. I want it to be really British. I Know Exactly How You Die. Oh, God, bloody hell, dear. When the slasher fiction novel manifests in real life, hack writer Ryan Berman has to finish his story without getting his protagonist murdered by a seriously sadistic stalker who will stop at nothing to have her. So, from that, guy writes a book starts to happen in real life, and he has to keep going with the story to save the girl. That sounds quite good. That does sound really good. Hyde, a modern reimagining of the classic story by novelist Robert Louis Stevenson. I'm guessing it's Jekyll and Hyde. He looks a bit weird. Black Phone 2. I like Black Phone 1. It was a good story, good on its own horror story. I don't know why you'd make a sequel, or is it a prequel that says 2? I don't know. The Woman in the Yard. I can tell you nothing about it other than those people there that are in it and the director. It's a PG though, so I'm guessing it can't be that bad. Crawlers. The year is 2030. Oh, that's not long away, if you think about it. 5 years away. A zombie pandemic of biblical proportions decimates the United States population. American survivors rush to Mexico. Oh, that's quite funny. To El Santorado del Sur. Don't know where that is. The Southern Sanctuary, a rocky plateau believed to be zombie-free. You know the zombies are getting in. So the zombies in America, they stopped the border. Trump's wall's put into good use by the sound of it. And the zombies are obviously trapped in America. The survivors get through, and I'm guessing the zombies get through eventually as well. A widowed mother's... Oh, hang on. Drop. A widowed mother's first date takes a terrifying turn when she's been bombarded by anonymous threatening messages on her phone during her upscale dinner, leaving her question if the charming date is behind the harassment. That sounds really good. The idea that's so imagine in my head I've got a woman and this new date at the table, and she's getting these messages and she's trying to work out if it's the guy in front of her sending them or not, because he's probably got his phone on the table as well. You're probably getting going to the toilet at random parts, and maybe there's a reason she can't leave because she's worried something's going to happen. That sounds like an interesting little thriller. I like the sound of that. Fred, an insidious tale. A couple resort to a spell to travel back in time, hoping to prevent their daughter's death. Stars Mandy Moore. And it's obviously part of the Insidious films, so interesting. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. My kids love the Five Nights at Freddy's, especially the boys. They're big fans. Obviously, they're internet kids, as they all are now. And obviously, that's a big internet thing, the Five Nights at Freddy's. And they did like the first film. Thought it dragged on a little bit there, but it weren't too bad. I watched it. It could be good. J. Kelly under wraps. Project details being kept under wraps, so we don't know what it's about. Adam Sandler, though. George Clooney. Could be a comedy. Peaky Blinders film coming out. If you're a big Peaky Blinders sort of Peaky Blinders fan, you're going to love that. I've never watched it. People have told me to watch it, but I've never watched it. Blood runs cold after a miner is killed by a corrupt union leader. His son, an attorney, embark on a quest for justice, unraveling a web. This is kind of like one of these dramas, isn't it? Where there's kind of like courtroom style drama, trying to find the evidence. Kind of a bit like Erin Brockovich, that's kind of like there's a situation that's happened. We want to get the truth. It sounds quite nice. Steve. Following head teacher Steve battling for his reform, college survival, while managing his mental health. Concurrently, troubled student Shy navigates his violent tendencies and fragile, torn between his past and futures. Okay. No idea. Not saying that's jumping out at me. 2 for the money. Focus on 3 major jobs and an interaction between the... so it's basically a heist film where they sort of like, maybe all going for the same heist. Focus on 3 major jobs and interactions between the thieves. Or that could be like Taron. See, when I first read that, I thought, oh, it's going to be like a heist film. There's 3 jobs happening at the same time. Maybe it's 3 separate stories that interweave, kind of like Pulp Fiction in a way. You know, the idea of 3 different stories that interweave and come together at the end. Oh, The Spy. Based on real events, on real people, a Soviet spy with an ingenious mind falls in love with a German girl. In order to marry her, he will have to go to war. So in order to marry, he will have to go to war with everyone: the USSR, the US, the West, and the East Germany. Oh my God, this poor bugger. So he's a spy, and to marry this girl, he's going to piss off everyone, and they're all going to come after him. That sounds quite funny. Desperate Journey, set in Bergerac, some place in France by the sound of it. World of 1940s Paris. There we go. In the Burlesque. Oh my God. The Burlesque world of 1940s Paris. A man is forced to flee Vienna as Nazi hysteria takes hold. Okay, so it's a Nazi German war, sort of Paris war film. Hollywood heist. An agent trying to land an actor tells the story of a movie producer and a fading movie star as they race against time to defy famous actors. Drug lords. Race against time to defy famous actors, drug lords, and death to save their latest project after their funding was stolen. That sounds like it could be a bit of a comedy. It sounds a bit serious at first, but then the idea of they're like trying to get... It sounds like it could be a comedy. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I'm guessing comedy. The Husband's Secret. The lives of 3 women all come crumbling down after one of the women discovers a secret letter written by a husband. Signed Blake Lively. Now, from the initial reading that, I'm guessing the husband's letter confesses to affairs, and these 3 women are friends, maybe related somehow, and the husband's been at it with all of them. And the letter is like a confession. I'm guessing. Whew. Okay, so I'm going to stop there because I didn't realise how long this was going to go for. And I'm only just going over 100 now. And there's another like 200 more to go. So I am going to finish this. It's going to be like a part 1. I now feel like I'm Wicked, the movie, where it suddenly tells you it's a part 1 to a 2-part story. And you're like, oh my God. So I feel like that now at the minute. So yeah, this is part 1. I'll put part 1 on the thumbnail so no one gets peed off or whatever. I'm not going to lie, like the Wicked movie did. But yeah, so great films coming out so far. A few that are sort of standing out. Obviously the Superman, all that sort of stuff, all those ones. And a couple of really unknown ones I didn't even hear about. Now I kind of want to watch. I'm kind of intrigued. So there's a lot of intriguing ones on there. So we're going to sort of end it here. And if you like that, obviously subscribe to continue on with this journey. We're going to keep going through the rest of these films that are on that list. And we're hoping to see some magic come out of there. Because there's a few things I'm like, what? Like Planes, Trains and Automobiles being remade. Who the hell wants that? Like with Will Smith and Kevin Hart. I just don't... Why would you do that? Why would you do that? But... And then there's a couple of... Like, there's two Frankenstein movies coming out. You've got The Bride of Frankenstein and you've got... What's it? The Frankenstein by Del Toro. So you've got 2 very different Frankenstein movies coming out. They have nothing to do with each other, so that's another interesting one. So there's a few things that are looking really quite interesting there. So fingers crossed we're going to have a good year for movies. But we have only just started the list, so we don't know what's going to be on that list from now on. So keep watching the next video. Subscribe to get the next video. Whack the notification thing so you won't miss it when it comes out. I mean, you're probably just going to go on the list yourself. I mean, if you want to hear my thoughts on it and have a discussion with me about it, please do. As I said in the comments, discuss away. And we'll keep going. So see you guys soon, yeah? And just share this with anyone that you think might be interested in it at all. See ya. See you soon. Bye.